Tippy time, my damies, Top Cat here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are back on Solar 3.0, playing our Hunter inside of the Crucible. This is a new PvP build I've been using, loving, and killing out loud with it. The exotic we'll be using are the Bombardiers. This exotic perk is called Parting Gift. Dodging leaves behind an explosive that detonates shortly after a delay, damaging targets around it and creating a effect. In this case we are on Solar, so this leaves behind a Scorch attack. If we partner up enough Scorch stacks, we're going to get those ignitions and we're going to have Guardians popping like popcorn. We can also pair this with the Solar Fulmination. Your ignitions do increase damage and you're going to get bigger blast radius. Ka-cha! The Bombardiers have a wave of 7 meters, and if it gets a second kill, it's going to have an 11 meter thanks to Solar Fulmination. They're very strong. As you can see, they didn't kill one single target, but you can bounce this with the ignition and scorch values. So you can actually kill multiple people inside a bubble, wells, other things like this. So it is very devastating if you get that chain going right. The recipe to trigger an ignition is, get 100 plus scorch stacks. We're using the knife trick melee, and you can always get one of those through Gambler's Dodge. I'm using Fusion Grenade, as this has a nice big bada boom. You can see here, I get knife trick, get grenade, get 4 scorch kills just like that. You can also use swarm grenades. I find this good for a more run and gun mentality. It's nice and easy, or you can just say chuck some knives at somebody and dodge away and equally get that kill as well. You can go with whichever method you might like. The knife and dodge is easiest, when you're just doing solo people. If you think there's a chance you're going to get a chain kill, you might want to dump a grenade in there as well, because that explosion will be a lot bigger. You can see here it's enough to kill somebody in a well. We've proven you can do it in a bubble. It's enough to kill supers as well. I've done it to Solar Titan, Solar Hunters, Void Supers, and many more. We're going to need to use Ember of Torches, powered melee attacks against combatants make you radiant. Ember of Eruption, your solar ignitions have increased area of effect. Ember of Ashes, we apply more scorch stacks to our targets. Ember of Char, your solar ignitions spread more scorch to affected targets. That's how we get these big chain kills. And Ember of Singeing, your class ability recharges faster when you scorch targets, so we get more dodge available to us to give us more melees. Being that this build is around the Bombardiers, we want to have as many melees as possible, and so that's a very important fragment to have. The way I generally do this is to get a double scorch attack on one person there, and the Solar Fulmination is going to blow up at 11 meters and get the other people to blow up as well. We're using the On Your Mark Solar Aspect. This just helps the weapon play. We're always dodging, so this is going to be at a 3 stack value. Knocking down, this is going to help feed our melees back to us and just makes our super a little bit better as well. But its main purpose is to give us more knife trick. One grenade that is good is the Incendiary Grenade. This does the highest scorch value. It actually does 90. And then you can use this to pair with Incandescent. So Incandescent comes on a couple of different weapons, and it's kind of hard to get chain kills with it, but if you use this Incendiary Grenades, it gets the scorch stack up high enough, so Incandescent will proc those Firefly kills. Now, this doesn't happen all the time, but I have come to run guns with Incandescent. I do like it. You can use them much like little trackings, because it does scorch damage even if you're not getting the kill. You can use the numbers to kind of track where your foe is going. So Incandescent is valuable inside of PvP. Being that you are getting close to people dodging, you want as much information as possible to where your targets are. This will just help, fight close combat a lot easier, particularly when you're inside melee range and you're dancing around at their feet. It is somewhat dangerous, and this might take a little bit of practice to get this skill going, but once you do, it is quite deadly. One of the main weapon combinations I was using was the Mitre combination. This gives me radar up all the time when I'm aiming down sight, so it just makes it a little bit easier to have combat. Plus the Callus Mini Mitre tool has that incandescent perk, so I found this a fun way to play with the Bombardiers personally. Now the Mini might not have the best range, and compared to say something like Asura's, nothing beats Asura's, but this is still a really lethal weapon up close. It does just spit bullets out. Another weapon I liked was the Ace of Spades. This also has radar when you're aiming down sight, so this was another great option to pair with this build, being that, like I said, you want to have your radar up as much as possible. Just helps that gameplay loop, as the more information you have available to you when these guys are nice and close, the easier it is to be able to make these plays, know exactly when to dodge, because you want to try and get that scorch effect to get those burnouts, you know, to get the Guardians popping like popcorn, and having a radar just makes it a lot easier to read your surroundings. So both the Mitre and the Ace of Spades were great options to pair with the Bombardiers. Read the radar, do a knife trick, do a dodge, and then you know, boom, there's 2 kills right there. You know exactly where the people are, you know who's going to burn out because of it. It's a lot of fun, and you do feel like a little bit like a mad bomber. It's good fun. There's not all that much to set up in terms of the armor. I'm running double stack targeting with a high energy fire, a dexterity and a reloader, double stack unflinching, radiant light and powerful friends, solar fulmination and pro 11 meter popcorns, utility kickstart, and classy restoration, of course. Once this season is gone and we don't have solar fulmination and classy restoration, this build is still going to work. It's just not going to be as potent in terms of those 11 meter explosions. It is going to be taken back down to approximately 7 meters. So it still will work. It'll still be nice and deadly. Still going to have the same punch, but with classy restoration this season just makes it so much safer, because you are going straight in there with a nice dangerous dodge. You are creating danger to them, but you're also creating danger for yourself, because you're going right up next to them and doing a little dance. So it is somewhat dangerous, but boy is it fun when you get those big popcorn kills. I really loved the scorch effect that came with the Caliban's hands. I'll post that build up at the end of this video for anybody else who's interested. But this build was a little more aggressive, which I quite liked, and it just gave me a different loadout of weapons that I could run. So yeah, it is an awful lot of fun. It is dangerous though, like I say here, you know, I might have got 3-4 kills with that dodge, but you know, I trade. So that's why I call this build the Mad Bomber, because there are going to be a lot of times you just trade, but you know, 1 life for 3 lives, sometimes that's a fair gamble, you know what I mean? But with a bit of practice and you know, you'll get the hang of it after a while, and then you can start running around like a madman. It is truly fun. Anyway, my damies, that is the bid for today. Like if you liked. If you're new and you really liked, please chuck that sub in there. Comment down below if you've got any questions. As always, tippy time, my damies. What a tie.